As the nice lady said, we are recording our 2024 Interscholastic Unified Strength and Conditioning. It is our pre-competition briefing. This is a week earlier than it typically tends to be, but we have back-to-back weeks of polar plunge, indoor bocce states, strength and conditioning states, and then winter games for our community program that we're trying to squeeze everything in. So we're doing both of our webinars this week, so our community program can do their webinars next week. So on this webinar will be Meredith Tarkenton, who is our sports chair, Tyler Harrell, who is our manager of IUS, and then myself, Zach Cintron. I think you've met most of us at this point, which is great. Again, we'll cover some logistics and overall stuff that'll be in the event guide, but we won't go as deep as the event guide goes. And then we'll cover some strength and conditioning specific stuff. For the most part, we're back at the same facility and we're doing things the same way. We tweaked the layout a little bit, but otherwise, last year for our first year went really well. This is Meredith. If you do not have her number, she has a Virginia number. That is her email. You've probably seen stuff throughout the season. But please make note of her phone number in case she is reaching out within the next week to touch base, get rosters, information, whatever. This is Tyler. He is the only one with an actual Maryland number out of all of us. If you see a Maryland number, it should come from him. Again, he'll be following up on a lot of paperwork stuff as we get closer to the competition. Then that's me. My phone number and email will be throughout here. If you need to grab it for something, let me know. Additionally, it's always in my email signature if you've gotten an email from me. Just a reminder, when it comes to medical, we will always have medical on site for our competitions and events from the second you get there to the second you leave. With that said, when you guys are traveling, you guys are in charge of any medical situation that comes up for your student athletes. At that point, you guys need to be prepared to follow whatever your school district's protocol is to take care of your athletes. So just remember that. But as soon as you get on site, we will have medical. Location has not changed. It's still the Worcester Parks and Rec Center. We're in the arena that we were last year. Plenty of room to do everything we need to do. Really great facility. They're really excited to have us back, and they're excited to see our student athletes. We haven't changed the schedule at all either. I think the schedule went pretty well last year. Since we're in the neck of the woods for most people, it's a little bit of a drive for our Kent Island crew, Queens Anne County crew, Kent County crew. Any of those folks, it's a little bit of a drive, but we're still going to try to start relatively early. So if you can please plan to arrive between 9 and 9:45, you guys can do warm-ups, whatever you need to do between 9:15 and 10 o'clock. The main thing is we want to do our coaches meeting at 9:45, give you any updates for the day, extra information, so on and so forth. We'll do our opening ceremony at 10 o'clock, and then right at 10:30, maybe even 10:15 if we're quick on the opening ceremony, we're going to start like we want to. Additionally, lunches, usually about 11:30. We'll make an announcement for it, but they will be available in that back classroom as we used last year. It was easier to separate out lunch distribution from the competition. So again, when we make the announcement, you can send a couple of your students back there. We'll have your lunches packed up and you can grab them. Weather info. Technically, we always say that by 6 a.m. the morning of the competition, we will make a call on the weather if we need to slide things around, go to an inclement weather day. As of right now, the weather looks really good. With that said, I never really bet on weather when we do anything on the shore because it could change in a second coming across the Chesapeake there. So for the most part, we say we will make a call by 6 a.m. on the 20th. Realistically, knowing how crazy busing is and how everything is in school systems, knowing how hard it is just to get kids to school in the first place, we're going to try to make a call Monday on that President's Day, February 19th. So if there's any bad weather that we're looking at for the 20th, we're going to try to make a call on Monday so you guys know earlier. Like I said, everything looks good. Right now, Tuesday, not February 23rd, February 21st is our inclement weather day. For the most part, if we go for this event, we go Tuesday. If we got to punt, we got to punt to Thursday. Unfortunately, it's one of those things where we can't do back-to-back days. The facility has a lot of stuff going on Wednesdays on a daily basis. Tuesday is our main day on the 20th, And I guess this would be February 22nd, the Thursday, would be our backup date. Some event info, questions on anything up to this point for day of, location, so on and so forth. I don't see anything. We're just going to keep rolling. Event info. Bus arrival and departure will be exactly the same as if you attended last year. We found a pretty good system in year one, and we're going to stick to it. This is an explanation that you can hand off to your bus driver if they want to see it early. For the most part, I just recommend arrive to the facility. We have people out in front of the facility that will direct you where to go, where to drop off, where to walk into the facility to, and then tell your bus drivers where to go. Please do get your bus driver's number, though, so that you can contact them as soon as you get awards so you can get picked up, get back on the bus going home. Here's the bus arrival plan. Same thing as last year. Essentially, everybody comes off the main road into the parking lot, and when you hit the front of the building, you curve around and stop right out front and drop off everybody. Everybody will walk through the lobby. The nice thing about that is as soon as you walk into the lobby, the bathrooms are on the right. People can use the bathroom if they need to, and then proceed into the arena in the back where we can start getting you guys set up for opening ceremonies and warm-ups. From there, your bus drivers will go back out to the main road, hook a left, and that first left, they're going to follow it all the way to the back. There's a big parking lot back there. They can park in it. If your bus drivers want to walk across the field and come join us, they're more than welcome to. I know some local buses will head back out to do pick up and drop off for other various things for school systems. But if your bus driver is staying, please have them park in this back lot. Additional parking, we do have limited handicap spaces in the front of the facility. We could probably sneak some in on the side if we need to. But the biggest thing to remember for this facility is it's a weekday, it's a public facility. There still could be people coming in the morning and throughout the afternoon to use the classrooms that are open and the weight room that is on the other side of the building. Remember that they're going to be there. Be nice. They were nice to us last year. We didn't have any issues. But if you need handicap parking, please reach out and let us know. We can do our best to reserve some for you. Should we be reserving handicap parking for you? The primary handicap parking is just right out front where the lobby is. For the most part, the biggest thing for that, just so you know, is the buses will be dropping out up front. So if you're coming in for a handicap spot, just be patient so we can get folks in with the buses and you. Additionally, if there's anybody else that's coming to support your team, family that's spectators, athletic directors that just want to pop in to see your teams and see you as coaches, somebody that's going to come and take pictures for your school, whatever it may be, the rest of the parking lot, they can park wherever they want, walk into the lobby, come into the arena in the back. The side parking here, for the most part, we leave that open for their staff, and our staff and key volunteers for our management team park over there. The orange space is where we park our large box truck to bring in all the equipment. And then we also have a powerlifting trailer that carries all of our powerlifting equipment for all of our seasons, and it parks along the backside of the building here. So if you need handicap parking, park up front. If it's not handicap parking for people that are part of your team, park in the rest of the green section. If for some reason you need handicap parking and there's nothing up front, you could park in the blue spots and nobody will get upset with you. It's a little bit closer to the arena, but not that much closer. It's still closer to go through the front door there. Merchandise and Unified Champion Schools. We will have a merchandise table again in the lobby. They take cash, credit card, Venmo. I don't think they do Cash App. I think we're only Venmo at this point. But we'll have all sorts of Unified Sports merch. We may also have some leftover discounted merch from our other events. But students always like having access to the merch table. Additionally, I anticipate we will have people there from Unified Champion Schools talking about whole school engagement and youth leadership. That's a little bit more for you guys as coaches to engage with, but it's good for your student athletes as well. And then the last thing is talking about healthy athletes. We want your student athletes being healthy on a day-to-day basis, 365 days a year, not just in season when they're competing. We want them to build healthy habits and healthy lifestyles to make them just healthy on a day-to-day basis. Something that I will say I'm not great at. I could probably use a little healthy athletes in my life if I'm being honest. Um, but we will have somebody from our office. Her name is Kayla Shields. She runs our Healthy Athletes program. She will be down. She'll be doing Healthy Athletes demonstrations, giving away free stuff and information and all sorts of stuff. Speaking of healthy stuff, we are going to do Jersey Mike's for lunches. We will send out a lunch order form for this upcoming week that we want you to send back in with your lunch order form for anybody that's on your roster that you are planning to bring that's registered, that turned in their paperwork, so on and so forth. So that means student athletes, coaches, paraprofessionals, anybody else, team managers, whoever it may be that would be on your team. We want you to turn in a lunch form for them. Again, they need to have done the correct paperwork to be registered on that roster. It'll be either a turkey and cheese sandwich with lettuce and tomato, ham and cheese sandwich with lettuce and tomato, or we usually either do a salad bowl slash veggie sandwich. I tend to lead towards the salad bowl just because it also helps our friends that are gluten free. Um, so anybody with a credential, which means they're registered on a roster, will have access to Jersey Mike subs. I believe last year, and I'm not sure about this year, I think they opened the concession stand and did some concessions that people could buy. With that said, I wouldn't plan on it. So if anybody is looking for food that's family members or athletic directors or something, there's a couple small places in Snow Hill that you could pop out to grab something. If not, might be good to pack your own lunch. Additionally, with the pack your own lunch, if you have a student athlete that has all sorts of food allergies, if we're talking more than just gluten free slash vegetarian, probably good to have them pack their own lunch. We try to cover our main bases with, two sandwich options, a dairy free option where you can take the cheese off of the sandwich or get the salad, vegetarian or gluten free. When we get into deeper food options, there's almost an unlimited amount of food allergies out there. So we try to cover our bases as much as we can. If you think somebody with a food allergy isn't going to be a good fit for any of those options, pack a lunch. Competition stuff. A reminder for credentials. The only people that are on the competition area floor are people with credentials. The only, acceptance that we tend to make to that is if you have like student photographers or somebody from your school that's coming to take photos or whatever. We just don't want the floor getting all cluttered up with people that don't need to be on there so your student athletes can compete and do what they need to do. Essentially, registration is closed. We can't add anybody to rosters at this point. I think most folks have sent us their competition rosters up to this point, so great job. And again, your roster could change up to your district tournament, but not after. Remember to take a peek at the event guide. The event guide covers a lot of the same stuff that we're talking about tonight, covers it in a little bit more detail. We will send that out to you likely next week after we're done with indoor bocce. But it'll have all the information about how scoring works, how the events work, a lot of the same stuff that you even see in the rule book at the beginning of the year. Here's the venue map. If you were there last year and saw this map, it may look exactly the same. The only thing that we tweaked is a little bit of the layout. Essentially, for the fitness events, they will all happen on the left side of the gym. Jump rope, arm hang, the bikes. This green box is our little control center we'll use for our fitness items. The main fitness stuff all happens on the left. If you look at the right, there's a powerlifting control center. It's going to be a table where we take all the cards for the lifting, so on and so forth. And we have 2 platforms there for you guys for powerlifters. At the top there is our competition one closest to the powerlifting control center table. The bottom, we are going to have a warm-up one as well. Should be plenty. We didn't have any issues last year with not having enough warm-up space or competition platforms. 2 seem to work for us. Additionally, the track events will happen on the backside of the track that goes around the arena. Essentially, the track events are shuttle run, race walk, relay, that kind of stuff. We end up doing PT series down the middle of the arena at the end of the day. When you check in for your events, if you're checking in for your fitness events, please go to the fitness control center. If you have students checking in for powerlifting, go to the powerlifting control center. If you have students checking in for track or the running type events, have them come to the bleachers over here. It'll say track staging. We'll have volunteers there. Everything is great. When we get to the end of the day, awards will be in the bottom corner of the gym. We will have a nice stage set up over there. Essentially, we will line you guys up for how you get awarded in your divisions. And again, we'll call from lowest award up to first place. Last thing is there are big blue bleachers all around this whole arena. You can stake a claim in whatever ones you want. We haven't gotten to the point with strength and conditioning where we have enough student athletes that we have to mark space yet because there's plenty of room. So again, when you come in, you can stake a claim to wherever you want, and we will give you a sign essentially with your delegation on it that you can put up. We'll give you some zip ties and stuff so we know where to find you. Again, staging for events, we will do this as we've done it in the past. We will do Group A events, take a break for lunch, Group B events, PT series, get out of there for the day. Essentially, we'll make announcements of what events we're, staging for and where to report to stage for them. But again, your student athletes and you guys do such a good job of knowing how strength and conditioning works, where to show up, and just go to your station for the event you're doing, that a lot of the times we don't need to put this into place of making final calls, so on and so forth. With that said, if we say we're starting Group A events, this event, this event, this event, please report to fitness. Powerlifting for bench press, please report to powerlifting. This event and this event, report to the track for staging there. If you have a student athlete that we make a call and then we're still looking for someone and we make a second call over the PA, if they don't show up, they just get a 0 score. We got to keep going throughout the day. We can't fall behind. We didn't have any issues of this last year, but again, make sure student athletes are showing up to where they need to for their Group A and Group B events. If you do not know what the Group A or Group B events are and how they exactly break down, this is what it looks like for essentially the morning Group A session and then afternoon Group B session. When we call for Group A, make sure students know which ones are these events. Show up. The coordinator who is running that section will talk to your student athletes. We'll get them prepped. We'll get them lined up based on our heat sheets, and they'll just take off and go from there. Again, very, very similar to how you guys run your district tournaments. Like I said, essentially we'll go from 10:30 to 11 something. We'll break for lunch. We'll come back for the afternoon session at 12:30. We'll make an announcement that those Group B events will begin. We'll do all of those. And then about 2 o'clock, we typically hit the PT series, do our PT series, get you all lined up for awards, award you guys, send you on your way. If for some reason you have a unique competition accommodation that you need for a student athlete, please reach out and let us know. It's helpful for us to be able to take down notes so that we can pass along to our volunteers and our management team running each section of the event so they know how to accommodate and support your student athletes. Additionally, it helps us to have a list because if another coach has a question about it, we could say, oh yeah, we talked to this coach about this prior. We bless this accommodation. Accommodation off the top of my head, in years past, we haven't explicitly said anything about using lifting hooks for like the deadlift. It's in the rules that you can use them. Hooks or straps or whatever, they're fine. But again, if you have somebody that uses straps or something or hooks or something because they can't grip the bar, just reach out, let us know, and we can put it on our list of accommodations so we can keep track of it. Protests. This is something that I continue to try to remind and educate folks about during competition webinars. Protests are something that you should be doing as coaches to protect your student athletes if you think something was done wrong. It's not to combat an official's call that an official makes. We trust the judgment of our officials. We train our officials. We have a lot of faith in our officials that they're going to do what they need to do to give your student athletes the best experience they can. With that said, if you think there was something done wrong in accordance to the rules that we set it up wrong, or that another team was doing it wrong and the official didn't see that they were doing it wrong. If that's something that you would like to make a protest about, you can go to the control center as soon as you find out, or within 15 minutes of completing that part of the competition, and file a protest. With that said, I continuously tell everybody as well, while we're pretty good at this point, I think, at everything that we do for strength and conditioning and bocce and all these other sports, um, if you see something that seems wrong and off, step in and mention something to an official in a polite way. They would rather go and uh, stop the competition and support you guys and get a answer to make sure things are going right than continuously do it wrong themselves. So again, if you have a question about something, step in, ask a question, either ask the coordinator of that part of the competition, grab somebody from the SOMD staff or whomever. Just so you know how a protest goes, once you file it, our rules committee of those three people will review it, and then essentially they will approve or deny it. Should it be denied, you can always appeal it. Appealing it will go to a games rules committee that I will bring together within 48 hours of the competition ending. They will review the appeal. They'll review the initial placement of the protest. They'll rule on it, and you'll get a yay or nay within 48 hours. If you have questions about protests, ask as well. I'm more than happy to clarify anything that I can. But again, main thing is, if you have a question, say something to an official politely in the beginning. Don't let it get too far out of hand if you continue to have a question. If it continues to persist or you have an additional question, grab an SOMD staff member. If for some reason things don't get resolved and you want to file a protest, go to the main control center, file a protest. Stationary bikes. If you are a school that has a stationary bike, please bring it. I believe that we have a couple. If not, we're probably going to pick up a couple just to have anyway. But if you have a stationary bike, please bring it to States. I know we really struggled to get them there last year. I think we did all of States on like 2 stationary bikes, and it was relatively painful. We will not be doing it on 2. If I feel like we haven't heard back that people are going to bring stationary bikes, we will likely purchase some and bring some just in case. Uniforms. Again, please have your team wearing their uniforms that they're supposed to wear for competition. I think everybody's been very good about wearing their team shirts that say their high school or their team, has the Special Olympics logo, like you see at the top right of the screen here, and then wear whatever relatively common pants that you want your student athletes to wear, whether it's shorts or joggers or sweats. Any of those are fine with us, just no leggings that you can have your student athletes wear. We're not big sticklers for how the uniforms are on the bottom. We just want them as uniformed as you possibly can. So if you say shorts and you want to say black shorts is fine. They don't need to be the same exact shorts across the board. If one person goes to Walmart and gets a pair of black shorts, if another one goes to Target and gets a pair of black shorts, that's fine. The other thing that we just want you to make sure is that they don't have big, crazy logos over them. If you tell your team to get black shorts, get the cheapest, plainest, blackest shorts that you can get at your local Walmart, Target, whatever it may be. If you happen to have team shorts where they are issued by the school, that's awesome. That's great. Again, just keep it as uniformed as you possibly can. The top part of this slide essentially talks about if you have somebody that shows up that's not in uniform, they won't be allowed to participate for the day. For 2 reasons. One, student athletes and you guys as coaches should be responsible for showing up in the right uniform. If you don't show up with your helmet for a football game, you don't play. That's just how it goes. Maybe a little bit extreme compared to what we're doing here, but same thing. Additionally, it's a safety factor as well, which is the biggest note at the bottom. We do not want any student athletes showing up to participate in slides, Crocs, or slippers, or whatever it may be. They need to be in some sort of athletic footwear that they can compete in. If they want to wear slides or Crocs or whatever on the bus and then change when they get there, That's absolutely fine. There's tons of sports teams that do that. But don't have them wearing Crocs or slides in the morning. Make sure you tell them that and tell their parents that before they come to school. Same thing with the pants and stuff. There's a lot of times kids just roll into school with jeans for the day. It's a Tuesday. We get it. You can't participate in jeans. You need shorts, you need sweats, you need joggers, whatever it may be. So again, when it comes to a uniform, make sure they have the right footwear. Make sure your lower body uniform is as uniformed as possible, and then just make sure you're wearing your unified sports shirt with the unified sports logo, and we'll be good. We would hate to have to pull somebody from competition for not having the right uniform. Team divisions, I'm hoping by next Friday that we'll have everything sorted out. There's a little bit of data entry stuff that we got to clean up. Then we have to re-division your student athletes, have to look at how many kids you have on a roster for weighted scores, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. With that said, we do have another state tournament this coming Tuesday for bocce, so we go back to back. So essentially, soon as bocce finishes on Tuesday, we come back and we switch into strength and conditioning mode. So if you have questions, just know that Monday through Tuesday, a little bit of this weekend, we'll probably still be working on bocce with a little bit of strength and conditioning in there. But for the most part, our game plan is to have everything to you guys by no later than Friday the 16th, so you can have all the information you need for the upcoming week. Any questions on competition stuff? I don't see anything in the chat. Everybody had a long day at school, so we are just plowing through this webinar. All right. Last couple things. We're kind of at the home stretch here, 3 or 4 more slides. Awards when we get to the end of the day. I know it's one of those things where we finish the PT series and people start to scramble to grab their stuff to get over to awards to get ready to go. It's totally fine. If you want to, if your team finishes the PT series and we're still doing more PT series stuff, feel free to go grab your stuff, start gathering things up, and then make your way over to awards. Once you get over there, be prepared to listen. We'll announce which division we're going to award, and then we'll organize you guys from lowest award to highest award. When you get over to awards, please don't be wearing jackets and all sorts of stuff ready to go. Please wear your uniforms because we want to take pictures. You guys want to take pictures. This is your last chance to take really nice pictures of your student athletes for this sports season. Day of volunteers. If you have day of volunteers from your school, additional coaches, additional teachers, athletic directors that want to volunteer, students that may want to come out and volunteer, if those are things that you are interested in, please reach out to Sam Boyd, who is our volunteer director. She will get you all set up. And again, we're more than happy to have student volunteers, as long as that's something that your school is willing to bless and approve for your students. Here's really like the last big push from me. That is my cell phone number. If you do not have my cell phone number taken down, please take it down, especially because it's a New Jersey number. And half the time I call people, they see a New Jersey number and they think it's spam. Totally fair. Sometimes I do feel like a spam caller when I'm calling you at the last minute for something for a competition. I get it. But in this scenario, if you're running late, if half your team gets sick at the last minute, if your bus has its wheels fall off, whatever it may be, like call us in the morning, reach out to me in the morning, text me, call me, whatever it may be, communicate with us. We're more than willing to be flexible to help your student athletes get to the state tournament, do what we need to do. Of course, we have some limits. We got to start on time. We got to run our events. But should something happen, we'll do our best to accommodate your student athletes and get everything set up. Even if it's just, hey, we're 10, 15 minutes behind, we might not make opening ceremonies. That's great. We just want to know you're still coming, so we can support you guys and your arrival. So again, please take down my cell phone number. It's the Jersey number. I'm pretty positive everybody has my email, but please take down my phone number. With that said, we're at the end of the rainbow here. Gonna check for questions again, which I don't see in the chat. Let me check the participants. I haven't had that pull up. I don't see any hand raised or anything. If you have questions after this webinar, there will be a recorded version. It will go out to everybody if you watch it and then have a question. email me, send me a text, phone call, whatever works for you guys. Again, just know we do have state bocce coming up beginning of next week, so we're going to be pretty entrenched in that. But don't be scared to reach out. I'd rather have you guys reach out early and maybe me not see it until Wednesday and then get right back to you than you guys not reach out at all and then we find out not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after you have a question. So again, please reach out. Meredith or Tyler, is there anything that you guys want to add in before we get out of here?
I think I'm good.
Cool.
Nope.
Cool. All right, well, we will keep it tight and quick tonight so we can get you guys in and out after a long school day. Again, we appreciate everything you guys have done this season for our student athletes. We appreciate everything you guys have done as teachers and other people in the school building on a day-to-day basis. We know that things are hard on a day-to-day basis, so you guys taking extra time to make unified sports happen is a huge deal to us, and we can't thank you guys enough for everything that you do. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out. If not, we will see you Tuesday the 20th in Worcester Parks and Rec Arena. And we're extremely excited to see you guys. And if you have any questions, reach out. Other than that, have a great night.